It's nice to chat with you again. I spoke to you for Cars 3 a while ago, so good to
Wow.
reconnect.
Wow, Cars 3, that is, yeah, that's a while ago.
Wasn't yesterday.
No, it was not yesterday.
So, when you're approaching a sequel like this where, you know, obviously emotions are high, if you'll take the pun, but how do you start approaching it early on? What's your process like?
I think it's looking at the first film, revisiting it, kind of seeing, what worked and talking to a lot of people. We've met with a lot of people that sort of talked about how important the first film was to them and how it kind of created this language for how kids can start to talk about the emotions that they're feeling and how they can express that to adults, and as we as adults can kind of express it too. And it just sort of, the first movie had this cultural reach that I think wasn't anticipated when the first one was making, so that kind of put pressure on us on this movie to try and hit that bar and sort of make sure that we were speaking about these new emotions in a way that was, responsible, but also still very entertaining and making a good movie.
I mean, we know the process for a film, an animated film, is so much longer. How long ago are we talking that you started working on this project?
Uh, I've been on the movie for I think about 3 years. Kelsey, the director, the movie was in development for about a year before that. So this one's been going. This one was also the it was a little shorter than some of the other movies. But yeah, we're on these movies for a while, and we live with the characters for a long time and the story for a long time.
So, some people may not be able to answer this. For you, can you say, did you have a favorite new character coming into this?
Ooh, favorite new character. Uh, I don't know. I think it would be a toss up between anxiety and envy. They're just so fun, and Io and Maya did such a great job. Like we worked really hard on crafting those characters, especially anxiety. And I think it was really a group effort. But when Maya was cast and they had the first recording session with her, all of a sudden that character came to life, and it brought so much understanding, but she brought so much empathy to the character that I think we were kind of struggling with finding what the line was for that until Maya joined the show. And then uh, after that, the animators just pushed it farther and everything. But those are probably my two favorite characters.
I do love Wee Wee.
Yes, yes. Ennui is also very very fun.
So, going back to when you start getting involved, what are what are these meetings and what is this process like on a day-to-day basis for you? What does that look like? Because, you know, I I know quite a bit of what you do, but I think a lot of people would probably not really understand the full scope of it.
So, story supervisor is a lot of different responsibilities and actually there's a lot of different components of the job. Initially, I'm working with the director and the writers to kind of help craft the story. So when we screen these movies multiple times. We put up what we call reels, do all the storyboards for the movie. We screen them for the studio. We get notes. We tear the whole thing down, and then we do it again. And we do that, 8 or 9 times to make these movies. And so, at the beginning of that cycle, I'm working with the writers and the directors, and we're crafting the story and we're carting it and we're figuring out, who's doing what and what's everyone going to say. And then, eventually the writer has enough. They go off and write, and and then the team gets cast sequences. We break the movie into sequences, 28, 29 sequences for a movie. Not always accurate number, could be more, could be less. And then I'm supervising the team. So I'm going over their work, we're giving them notes, helping them with any sort of context that they need, or helping out with newer artists, helping them just kind of get their legs, their sequences on their legs and everything. And then those sequences are delivered to editorial, and then I'm in the editorial with Marissa, our lead editor, and Kelsey, the director, and we're addressing notes in there, and I'm doing super quick drawings as we're adjusting the work that we're seeing in edit, and then we go into a screening cycle. So it's sort of all of that kind of stuff, and it could be a mix of any of those things on any given day.
So then I'm curious for you, because I find I've spoken to directors and different people on sets who kind of have a broad sense of roles. Do you have a favorite part of that work that is your maybe favorite part of this, or is the whole process
Ooh.
your favorite?
I kind of like the whole process for different reasons. I love working with the team. They're some of my favorite people, and just seeing what they bring to their work and how they elevate it and just add to sort of what we created. That's super fun. I love working in the room, and maybe don't always like having to smash my head against the wall for 2 days straight as we're trying to crack an idea, but you get those little wins when you do crack something, and it gets really exhilarating, and then a bunch of things line up. So yeah, there's a lot of the process that I really enjoy.
Can you tell us about a win that maybe doesn't give away any spoilers? Is there anything you can
Ooh,
share? Because that's
what
always fascinating storytelling there.
what was a win? I'm trying to think of something early in the movie, because all I can think of is big spoilers from the end right now.
Because I'm sure that
Well,
the end, of course, is where you have the biggest nuts to crack in terms of like getting something to work.
I'm gonna keep the character's name out of it for when people see the movie, but uh, we got to a certain point in the movie, and we realized we could do a callback to a character that we met earlier in the film. And when we realized that A, would help us out of a pretty sticky situation that we had written ourselves into, quite the corner, but get us out, but also in a super funny and entertaining way, that was a pretty big win.
Well, last thing I know is you get to the end, and obviously you've been through this film a few hundred times. Do you still get to sit back at the end and be able to separate from all that work and be moved by the film at the end? Is that difficult?
It is difficult just to get the kind of distance from it. I do, for this one, the some of the emotional stuff will still hit me. Um, I think some of the emotion, though, I think kind of comes from it's from pride, like it's sort of being proud of, like, oh, this person did this, and man, when they brought that, that was so great, and look how great this is up on the screen now. So it's sort of a mix of that, and then also uh uh I am sort of able to enjoy this movie maybe a little bit more than some of the other ones I've worked on, but it is hard to get that distance. But I still do have I'll watch it and be like, "Ugh, I still think that part could be better," which is basically the torture of the job.
Right? I totally get it.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations. Thank you for the time. It was a pleasure chatting.
thanks, Andrew. Nice to see you again.